Once upon a time in a village at the bottom of a hill lived a poor woman with her son. They lived in a little house made out of straw. It was so small that when the woman spread out her blanket to dry under the sun, she had to fold it into halves just to fit it inside. Every day the woman went to the fields to gather plants that she could sell in the market. That way she could earn some money and buy food for herself and her son. One day, while gathering plants, she found something strange. It was a golden egg, the woman thought. Wow, what a beautiful egg. I've never seen anything like this before. She took the egg home and put it under the hen. Maybe the next morning she would get more golden eggs. But when the morning came, the hen didn't lay any egg. So the woman gave up on the idea. She sold the plants she gathered from the field at the market and bought some bread and cheese for herself and her son. At the same time, at the top of the hill, in a large castle, there lived a king with his son. The king loved his son very much. He wanted to give him everything he wished for, but the young prince wasn't interested in anything. He didn't care about toys or video games. The king tried to involve his son in his royal duties, but the prince wasn't interested in that either. One day the king called his son again and asked, "My boy, don't you want anything? You can ask for anything you want, and I will bring it to you." The prince thought for a moment. "I want to live in a little house at the bottom of the hill. I want to be poor and experience life like other people." The king couldn't believe his ears. "But why would you want to do that?" he asked. "Because I want to be like them," said the prince, pointing to some children who were playing outside the castle. "They look so happy. I want to be happy too." The king felt sad. He knew his son didn't understand what true happiness meant, but he also loved his son so much that he couldn't say no to him. So the king brought his son down the hill to the village at the bottom, built a little house out of straw for the prince. It was so small that when the blanket was spread out to dry under the sun, it had to be folded into halves just to fit inside. The prince was very happy with his new house. The king left them alone and told the servants not to reveal his identity. "Let the prince experience real life," he told them, and so they did. Meanwhile, the prince was very curious about the villagers and their lives. Every day he watched them go to work and return home with food. He saw how hard they worked just to survive. After 3 days, the prince went to the market and saw a woman selling plants. "Hello," he said to her. "How are you?" The woman looked at the prince and replied, "I'm fine, thank you. Would you like to buy anything?" "Yes," said the prince. "Can you come home with me? I need your help." The woman was confused, but agreed anyway. When they got home, the prince explained, "I'm not used to doing any housework. Can you teach me how to cook?" The woman happily agreed. She showed the prince how to make bread and cheese from flour, water, and yeast. Then she left the house. "I have to go to the fields now," she told the prince. "Would you like to come with me?" "I'd love to," said the prince. They went to the fields together. They were gathering plants. The prince found a golden egg. "Look, ma'am," he said. "What a beautiful egg. I've never seen anything like this before." "Oh, that must be my hen," said the woman. "Thank you for bringing it back to me." "You're welcome," said the prince. "Can I keep it?" The woman thought for a moment. "Well, if you want to try being a farmer, then yes, it's yours." The prince was so happy. He carried the hen all the way home. That night the prince set an alarm clock for the next morning. He wanted to be the first one to wake up and collect the golden eggs. However, the rooster crowed so loudly that even though the prince woke up before sunrise, he still overslept. When he finally got up, the woman had already collected the golden egg and put it in a bowl. "Good morning," she said to the prince. "Breakfast is ready." They ate together, and the prince told the woman, "This is the best breakfast I've ever had." After breakfast, the prince went to the fields to gather plants. He worked hard all day long and returned home only at sunset. Meanwhile, the woman sat by the window and waited for her son to come back. When she saw him coming, she ran outside to meet him. "Why are you working so hard?" she asked. "I don't need any money." The woman was very surprised to see how tired her son was. She led him to the table and said, "You have to eat something." Then the woman told the prince, "Tomorrow, I'm going to the market. Would you like to come with me?" "Of course," he said. "I can't wait." The next morning they went to the market together. The prince helped his mom carry the plants to the cart and walked alongside her to the market. All the people they passed by were praising the woman for being such a wonderful mother. "Your son is so lucky to have you," they said. The prince felt a little sad. He missed his old life where he didn't have to work at all. On the way back home, The prince stopped by the field where he found the golden egg. "I wonder if there are more golden eggs here," he said. And so he started digging in the dirt. Suddenly a small voice said, "Hey, what are you doing?" The prince looked around, but nobody was there. "Who said that?" he asked. "It was me," said the small voice. The prince bent down and saw a little mouse. "Did you talk?" he asked. "Of course I did," said the mouse. "And you're sitting on my house." The prince apologized and stood up. "Are you sure you're okay?" he asked. "Yes, I'm fine," said the mouse. "But I'm going to visit my friend. Do you want to come with me?" The prince thought for a moment. "Okay," he said. "Let's go." They went deep into the field until they reached a small hole. The mouse climbed inside and disappeared. The prince waited for a bit, but the mouse didn't come out. Should I go in after him? He wondered. Suddenly, the ground started shaking. Before the prince could react, the earth split open, and he fell down, down, down. The prince landed on a soft bed made out of hay. He looked around and saw that he was in a big cave filled with gold coins. "Where am I?" he asked. "In your dreams," said a voice. The prince turned around and saw a king with a crown on his head. "Do I know you?" he asked. "Of course you do," said the king. "I am your father." The prince couldn't believe his eyes. All this time he wished to be poor and live a simple life. Now he was back in the cave with his real luxurious life. The prince apologized to his father, told him how he experienced life as a commoner, and realized how wrong he was. The king hugged his son. "I'm just glad you're okay," he said. "Now let's go home." The prince was so happy to be back with his family. He thanked the mouse for helping him realize his mistake. From that day on, the prince ruled the kingdom wisely and fairly. And whenever he felt sad, he remembered the golden rule: don't wish for something you're not willing to experience. The end.